All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I am Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in. Lots going on. We've got a busy week, actually, from now. We get a lot of economic indicators, people's talking. We've got the WASD. We've got a non-farms job number. We had an ADP number today. We got Jay Powell on the hill. I mean, we're going to be packing it into 3 days, so there's a chance for some volatility. Let's see about how your markets and your money are doing right now. Let's bring up that corn board. And it's not doing very much. It's lower by about 3/4 of a cent, and that's May. 425.5 is last, so 2 1/4 cents off the low of the day. East down just one tick to 459, and that's a penny and a half off the low of the day. So nothing going on in corn, and not a lot going on in beans either. Maize down 4 3/4 cents to 11.44 1/4, and that's 4 cents off the low of the day there. SEP's down 5 1/4 cents to 11.42 1/2, and that's 2 1/4 cents off the low there. All right, from beans we move to the Chicago wheat market. Chicago wheat, we got some double-digit losses here, folks. We got a May board down 19 cents to 5.32, and that's a penny and 3/4 off the low there. Well off the highs by almost 20 cents. 11.5 cents lower in that D's to 5.68 1/4. There you go. All right, moving from Chicago wheat to Kansas City and the hard red wheat there. Let's start with May. That's down 15 cents to 5.54 1/4. And again, that's about a penny off the low of the day there. D's is down 11 1/4 cents to 5.71 3/4, and that's 1 3/4 cents off the low there, and that's D's hard red wheat. Now let's go to the spring wheat in Minnesota. 9 cents lower than that front month May. 646 1/2 is last. Penny and a half off the low of the day there. And D's is down 8 1/2 cents to 6.68, and that is a new low of the day. So all these wheat prices still kind of really sucking some wind here. Let's go to the cotton market where it's been in fuego. 122 points higher here to 95.46. That would be the May. And the July is also up the same, 122 points to 94.29. All right, let's bring in our next guest analyst. That's Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading. He's in Valparaiso, Indiana. Tommy, anything jump out of you there when we rip off those prices?
The outside markets are on fire. Gold hit all-time highs. We do have our we're getting a better feel for what's going on with the election. And the way I said it on the morning show, I do this today. It's like going to be like Rocky 7 or 8. It's the two 80-year-olds. We'll go with Rocky 8. You could use that, but Rocky 8's coming this November, and it's going to be a heck of a battle. Big volatility in the outside market yesterday caught my attention. I wanted to be long grains, but then when you just see that risk off type of day where everything on your quote board's red, and then the bond market was rallying, and we're kind of unwinding out of that today. So it's the exact opposite where stock market's on fire again. Bitcoin bounced $5,000, but nonetheless for the trading community, it's great. For the ag community, probably brings a little confusion on what should we do. Little shocked, maybe disappointed that wheat's down as much as it is. Maybe it's an opportunity to buy it, if not for us, for other countries. But Russia's flooding the markets with wheat. We're constantly watching the Matif wheat contract over in France, and that's been making new contract lows for a long time. Not a lot of optimism because I don't help people hedge gold. Crude oil's up real big today. There's just so many things going on. But like you said earlier, when you opened up, Jay Powell speaking, State of the Union tomorrow, unemployment Friday, USDA Friday. This week's going to go out with a bang, Scotty. And the American farmer's risk is still that it goes down. I know we're cheerleaders for higher prices, but the risk in the corn, wheat, beans, cattle, hogs is that they drop. Back to you, my friend.
No, but that's one thing I don't like about it, Tom. When we talk about it, that phrase, too many guys on one side of the boat, too many traders on one side of the boat. I mean, there is a little bit of truth to that because over the years, Mr. Market or the trading god, whatever you want to refer to him as, they try to hurt the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time, right? And that happens. You've seen that shake some markets out, I'm sure. And that's what I don't like about where we're sitting with the ags here. There's a lot of people waiting and are on the side of the boat waiting for a rally here, and maybe we get a short cover rally by the funds, we can sell some stuff. And when that happens, it just sometimes, or maybe more than sometimes, maybe a lot of times it doesn't work out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Real quick on a side note for one of your Scott the Cow Guy segments, Mayor Johnson in Chicago officially announced that Chicago, LaSalle Street and the Board of Trade is going to be made into a museum. So maybe all of us old dinosaurs are just, old traders are just dinosaurs. But Board of Trade, lobby, Series restaurant going to become a historical monument. And things have changed, brother. It's all digital. And young kids want to own Bitcoin. They don't want to own corn. Back to you. Let's take a commercial break.
No,
and we'll be back to you right after these messages.
You should list a new product called Bitcorn. How about that?
Bitcoin, yeah. Well, you can. They do have the ETFs.
Yeah.
And the wheat ETF is single-handedly made wheat go from 11 to 14 as they rolled out of that contract. So we do have ETFs. There is a wheat ETF.
We can give it a crypto touch, so maybe Bytecorn with a Y. All right, we'll see.
Yeah, something. The kids will buy it.
Yeah. All right, stay right there. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more. But Tom Grisafi, he's with Advanced Trading, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. This is where the guy in the cow jacket talks about cattle, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? Let's talk about live cattle. That'll be the first one. And we'll look at the board right behind me. Let's see what it's just a little bit easier. We'll start with that April. That's off 87 cents to 187.12. Go out to August. That's off 45 cents to 182.32. So you can see there's not a lot going on right now, and the ranges aren't too big. So that's what live cattle are doing in Chicago. Let's see about feeders. What's happening there? Feeders are actually accelerating their losses by just a tad. $1.80 lower in that April contract at 255.37. So that's about 42 cents off the low of the day there. $1.17 lower in the SEP to 269.12. All right, let's move over to see what we've got going on lean hogs. And we'll get back to our guest analyst, lean hogs. That's April's down $1.20. 83.97 is last, and that's a dime off the lows, folks. We got to put out a warning. And we've got an August board off $1.02 to 101 even, and that is on the lows. All right, let's bring back in Mr. Tom Grisafi, see what he's got to say about these livestock prices. What jumps out at you?
I've liked being a seller and a protector of cattle and hogs at these levels. We've issued several LRP policies at levels here in the last few weeks, and their risk as it goes down. Now, the difference with the livestock, obviously, they can't store it, and that wouldn't work out well, right? But let's just hope all these kids who made all the money in Bitcoin actually aren't vegans and they like to eat protein besides ground up grasshoppers and lentil beans. And plus, all those beans just make you gassy, Scotty boy.
All right,
we need people eating good old-fashioned steak and pork and good old-fashioned food. I think the Board of Trade traditional contracts and the Merck traditional contracts are under pressure. And really, when I look at my quote board, things have went to brighter, shinier things like Bitcoin and gold. And it breaks my heart to say that, but that's what's happening.
You're right.
Here
You're right. I mean, for the longest time, I agree with you. For the longest time, everybody asked me, why isn't gold moving very much? And I think it's because we had all those cryptocurrencies where a lot of the younger traders, a lot of the people around the world that had access to trading machines, they expressed their views in some of those cryptocurrencies and or other things rather than gold. But now gold's kind of come back into the fore, even though we've opened up Bitcoin to the ETFs, and we've seen this halving, HALF, the Bitcoin being cut in half, also shooting it through the moon. So it's going to be an interesting time. And also to the point we've got Jay Powell. You mentioned that he's on the Hill with this Humphrey Hawkins testimony. He's talking to Congress. Look, that's going to move the markets. That moves the stock market. That can move these meat markets too, because there is a little bit of a correlation there. You got 10 seconds. What do you think?
It's an interesting time. I'm very nervous about the future of what's going to happen this election. And please stand by. That's what makes a market volatility.
All right. Awesome stuff. Thank you very much. Tom Grisafi, Advanced Trading. He's a good friend of this show and the Cow Guy Close. He's in Valparaiso, Indiana. We'll bring it back here to you, Suzanne.
Thank you so much.
Music Row.
Music Row. Thank you so much, Scott.